Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're tackling the big question of should you use a personal loan to pay off your credit card debts? So, if this sounds like something that you're interested in, if this is appealing to you, let's explore the benefits together. So, at first glance, it may seem counterintuitive to take out a personal loan or to take one type of loan to pay off another type of loan. However, the difference between personal loans and credit cards can actually lead to way more favorable financial situations. Okay, guys, so before we dive into whether a personal loan is going to be beneficial for you, let us grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, and do a quick reflection. I want you to just write down the reasons why you have credit card debt. For many of us, it's due to overspending, emergencies, lifestyle inflation, job loss, among many other reasons. So let us be frank with ourselves, honest with ourselves, and write down the reasons. And you'll see why you need to write down the reasons as we progress. So if we're going to be very honest with ourselves, many of us are currently struggling financially. A lot of us are struggling financially, and it's because of the debt that we have, the revolving credit accounts that we have, the compounding interest that we have. And these can feel like a heavy burden that we're carrying because with the high interest rate on credit cards often exceeding 20% all the way up to 29.99% sometimes. This can quickly turn our spending into a mountain of debt because when we carry a balance, we're not just paying for what we bought, we're also grappling with significant interest. And this makes it harder for us to chip away at what we owe because each month the interest adds up. So they're charging us not only for the original purchase, but also for unpaid interest. And this accrues daily and it compounds. And this often creates a very frustrating cycle because it seems like we're not getting out. It seems like it's like a quicksand feeling. That's how it feels for me. Many of us feel trapped in this minimum payment cycle. Right now on my debt free journey, I'm only making the minimum payment because that's what I can afford now. And I'm using that as a motivating factor because each small payment really adds up. But when we take a closer look, this is really dragging out for years when we make the minimum payment. And if we should continue to make only minimum payments, we're going to be repaying two times what's on our principal balance. And this makes us feel so out of control with our finances because as our balance grow, we continue to be at risk of damaging our credit scores. We continue to be at risk of paying higher interest rate. If we try to get a balance transfer card, what are the chances that we're going to be approved? Because our credit score and the revolving balances that we're carrying with us. So all of this further frustrates us and it complicates our effort to climb out of debt. So before you decide to really get a loan or before you make the decision for debt consolidation, it's crucial to take a step back and to thoroughly evaluate your current financial situation. Start by gathering all your debt information. List out each account, list your interest rate, list your outstanding balance, and all that. Because you're going to need this to make a comparison before you make that decision on whether or not you're going to be moving forward. Next, you're going to be calculating your total debt, and this is going to give you a clear picture of what you owe. Take the time to analyze the interest rate on each of your debt. Do an average. So when you're doing the average, add up all the interest rate and divide it by the number of cards that you have. You're going to need this to compare with the interest rate that you're going to be getting on your personal loan. Because this, when you do this comprehensive evaluation of your credit cards, this will help you to determine whether getting a consolidation loan is going to be the right option for you and how it can best support your path to financial recovery. So understanding the entire financial landscape is very critical to making more informed decision. Knowing what you owe, knowing the interest rates that you're paying, knowing your minimum payment, all this you need to know before you decide to get a personal loan. All right, so let us take a quick look at the consolidation loan. Understanding the debt consolidation loan. One, it combines multiple credit cards. It simplifies our repayment and it gives us it has the potential to give us a lower interest rate. So a personal loan is an unsecured loan that you can use for various purposes, including credit card consolidation, because that's what we're talking about today. And like I said, typically lowers the interest rate compared to the credit cards. All right, so remember now we're doing the average on all the credit cards that we have, the average interest rate on the credit cards that we have, and we're going to be comparing that average interest rate to our debt or personal loan interest rate. All right. So one of the biggest benefit of a debt consolidation loan is that it simplifies the repayment process. So instead of juggling multiple due dates, multiple minimum payments, multiple creditors, you have just one payment to manage. So this can reduce anxiety, reduce financial anxiety, reduce financial stress, and it makes it easier to stay on top of your finances, stay on top of your budget. Because with one fixed payment, you can create a clear budget and avoid the risk of missing payments, which is going to cause return check fees and all the other fees that are associated with when you miss a credit card payment. All right, so debt consolidation loans often comes with a lower interest rate compared to the higher rates typically associated with your credit cards. And this can result in significant savings over time. So by consolidating your debt into a single loan with a lower rate, you're definitely going to be paying less interest. And this allows for more of your payment to go directly towards your principal balance. So if you have extra money, you can put it and it goes towards the principal balance. So over time, this will help you to repay the debt faster and reduce your overall cost of borrowing. So consolidating your credit cards with a personal loan, this isn't a decision to take lightly. Before you make that move, understand some of the pros, understand some of the cons, which in some of the pros is that you have a lower interest rate. Yes. There is one monthly payment. Yes. It's easier to budget. Yes. The turnaround time for the approval is quick. Yes. There's a set repayment period. But there are cons associated with getting a personal loan. There's extra fees because there's an origination fee. This is money that you could be saving. Um, for some of the loans, origination fee goes up to 10% depending on your credit. There's penalty for early repayment on some loans. So when you're trying to get a personal loan, research your lender, read their fine print, see what they offer, see what their charges are. And part is very important. Getting a personal loan can lead to additional debt. And when I say leads to additional debt, if it is that you have credit card debt from overspending or you are struggling to afford your basic household necessities each month, a personal loan isn't a suitable option for you because in the long run, you're going to be back at square one. You might definitely find yourself again trying to rely on credit cards after you've paid them off. And once you have paid them off and you go back into the credit card, now that's adding additional debt. So you're deeper in debt. And I can attest to this because this was my biggest regret when I did my personal loan. So now that I am doing my personal finance researches and I'm sharing these with you, I'm going to highly encourage that you take a deep analysis of your personal loan, your need for a personal loan. And that was why I asked you in the beginning of the video to write down your reasons why you have credit card debts. Because, like I said, if it's from overspending, if it is that you are struggling to make ends meet, taking a personal loan might not be the best option for you. Okay, so now that you've written down why you're in a credit card dilemma, why you need to take a personal loan, you've calculated your average credit card interest rate, you applied for the loan, you got the loan. Now it's time for us to put a plan together to repay the loan so we can be financially free. All right. So the first thing you're going to be doing is to again do a debt assessment, especially if that personal loan you got didn't cover all your credit cards. You need to do an assessment to see where you are in terms of debt. All right. Create a budget. You're going to build your resource strategy. You're going to be reviewing your income, taking stock of your expenses, all the income that you have coming in, because this is your treasure map where you can allocate more funds towards repayment if you can afford to do so. And in creating your budget, make sure that you're developing a realistic budget that includes all your essentials, your expenses, and setting aside your debt repayment, your personal loan repayment. Cut the extras if you have to, which in you're going to be evaluating your discretionary spending, see what you can trim down so that you're not draining yourself financially at the end of the month. All right. Next thing we're going to be doing is to select a repayment plan. So if it is that you consolidated all the credit cards with the personal loan, then you only have one loan, then you probably don't need to do a repayment plan. You probably won't need to choose between the snowball method or the avalanche method. But if you do have credit cards that weren't paid, we're going to be listing them in the order of smallest to largest. So we can now use the snowball method to attack these debts. All right. And set some clear goals. Establish your monthly targets and set something that is achievable. Think of them as your quest. So each one complete gets you closer to your victory. And here's the golden nugget. Check with your personal loan lender to see if they offer a repayment option that allows you to split your payment according to your pay frequency. Let's say that you are paid semi-monthly. Some lenders do have some lenders do have an option where you can pay twice monthly, and some do have an option where you can pay weekly. So this is something that you need to have a conversation with them about, because splitting your payment into smaller, more frequent amount can help you to reduce the cost over time, because you'll be paying more frequently. This is lowering your principal, and it's lowering the interest as well. And this can lead to significant savings and a faster path to becoming debt free. All right. And the next thing that we're going to be doing in creating our repayment plan is to track our progress. This is very critical. Tracking your progress as you go. It is monitoring your adventure. So keep an eye on your journey, because you need to regularly review your repayment progress. This is your scoreboard. It's telling you how well you're doing. You can use your financial tools. If you have a budgeting app, fine. If you want to use your spreadsheet, fine. I personally like to use my spreadsheet because it makes me more engaged with understanding my finances instead of using the app where the app is calculating everything for me. So I personally just prefer to use my spreadsheet, make my spreadsheet, allocate it, and see where I'm going. I like to say it's more intimate for me. And stay flexible. Once you're reviewing, you need to adapt if you need to adapt. Change how you're doing things to suit your financial situation, because you're trying to get away from being stressed out about these debts. So with this game plan in hand, you're ready to take the chance. You're ready to take charge of your repayment journey. So now it's time to conquer all our debts together and to unlock a brighter future. And I know that you've got this. So yes, we have done our credit card evaluations. We've got the loan. We created a repayment plan. We know what we need to do. But another thing that we need to do is to do some reflection, do some assessment so that we can avoid future credit card traps. Like I said before, budgeting. We need to check our discipline, check our financial discipline, because it is a problem for a lot of us. We're not disciplined with our spending. We are definitely not disciplined. Create your emergency fund. This is critical because you don't want to be relying on credit cards. Should an emergency come up after after you have paid off your credit cards with your personal loan, you don't want to be reusing your credit cards for emergencies. So create your emergency fund. If it's $20 per pay period that you can afford, you put $20. If you can afford $10, you put $10. And like I'm doing, I'm going to encourage you to do some financial education, do some personal finance reading. There are plenty of blogs out there, and a lot of these financial institutions, even the personal loan companies, they do have some financial education resources, and those are free. Okay, so you've reached this part in the video and you're still wondering if you should get a personal loan to pay off your credit card. I'm going to say paying your credit card balance with a personal loan may or may not be the right decision for you because it depends on your situation and your finances. So a personal loan could make sense if you qualify for a loan with a much lower interest rate, because credit card balances with high APRs grow rapidly, which can make them feel impossible to catch up on and pay off. So if you're exploring this option due to high credit card interest rates, high credit card APRs, and you qualify for a loan with an interest rate low enough to save you a significant amount of money, it could be a good reason for you. However, if your credit card debt was due to a one-off expense or issues, you shouldn't get in the habit of paying off your debt or paying off your credit card debt with another debt. All right. So if you can afford to pay off the one credit card that you have, I would say go ahead and pay off the credit card that you have instead of getting a loan to pay off that credit card loan. Because what you don't want is for it to become an habit for you to be using your credit card and borrowing to repay. It's like borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. All right. And another reason why it would not make sense is if your credit card usage again was due to you overspending, just shopping because you're doing retail therapy, then taking a personal loan is not going to be the right decision for you because you're going to end up in the same situation again. So you get a personal loan when you're financially responsible, but in a tough situation because of the high credit card interest rate. All right. But as always, do your own research, assess your financial situation, and speak with a certified financial advisor. If you can't afford a certified advisor, there are some free ones. There are some nonprofit organizations where you can get free credit counseling. And I do know that some credit unions offer free credit counseling as well. So, in everything that you do financially, do your research. Do your research. Do your research. All right. So, if you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more financial tips. Share your experience with personal loans and credit card debt in the comments below. Let's learn from each other and let's grow with each other. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.